Hello guys, and welcome to another in-depth review here on NNT Auto Reviews. My name is Tyler as always, and today we're checking out a really cool, honest to goodness large family SUV. And it is of course the all-new 2018 Chevy Traverse in the 1LT or LT cloth trim level. And this one does have the all-wheel drive. Now before we get started, I'd like to thank Terryville Chevrolet in Terryville, Connecticut for allowing me to take a look at the car in today's video. Now if you're interested in purchasing any Chevy from this dealership, go ahead and check out the description box where I listed all their contact information. So it is going to be a little bit hard to make out the window stickers since the rear glass is tinted, but in case you can make it out right there, the only option besides our standard equipment is going to be these nice roof cross rails there. But besides that, our destination cost is $945. And our total sticker price comes out to $39,620. Alright, so taking a look at the Traverse from the side, it's got a really nice elongated wheelbase. And that wheelbase is 120.9 inches, so it's pretty long, which gives you tons of room for the second and third row seating there. But we do have 10 available colors in the LT trim level, this one being the beautiful mosaic black metallic. So if we take a look towards the really nice rear end of this 2018 Traverse, we can discuss our drivetrain options. So the base model L is going to come standard with front wheel drive and front wheel drive only. However, all of the other trims do come standard with front wheel drive and optional all wheel drive, except for the top of the line High Country, which comes standard with all-wheel drive. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out what makes this all-new Traverse special. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the details here on the front end with the headlights. Now headlights are pretty neat. We can choose between two different headlights, however these are the base ones. Really good still projector tube used for both your high and low beams, and it is an HID bulb. You do have LED daytime running lights up there, and you also have the nice little Chevy emblem in the headlight bezel as well. And taking a look down here, we do have some nice halogen fog lamps with a little bit of chrome accenting that. And taking a look above the lights, or the fog lights at least, a really nice grille. Traditional split grille for Chevrolet, but it's got a really nice pattern in here that's definitely different, but pretty nice nonetheless. Really good looking front end for the new Traverse. So we got some pretty cool character lines going on the hood right over here, and then a little bit towards the center as well. We have some nice cladding going all the way around the wheel wells and all the way down the side. Really does protect that nice metallic paint from all the road chipping. However, we do have some really nice 18-inch alloy wheels. Really nice and bright too. 6 lugs, and our tires measure 255/65. Ventilated disc brakes up front, and it looks like all-season tires. The Traverse insignia there. You can also see the chrome that goes all the way around the windows there. Getting distracted by, it looks like a World War II bomber plane that just went by over there. But getting back on track here, we have some really nice body colored mirrors with the blind spot warning, and we also do have LED turn signals on the mirrors there. So nice body colored door handles with our smart key entry. We're definitely going to get into that right before we get into the interior of the vehicle. Again, nice tinted windows in the back for both the second and third row passengers. So you're not going to have anybody looking in on you, and the sun's not going to glare on you either. Really nice finish for the wheels. It's bright, very bright, and you even have ventilated disc brakes back here as well. I do apologize, there's a little bit of mudding going on in the car. It looks like the guys who transported it here had a little bit of fun with it. Looks pretty neat with the cross rails up top as well. But one of my favorite elements of the new Traverse is these tail lamps. Full LED except for the reverse lamps. Really, really good looking lights. And they also wrap around all the way to the back there. So we have some badging back here, a Traverse all-wheel drive badging of course. We have parking sensors going all the way across the bumper there. We also have some really nice exhaust tips. Almost reminds me of the exhaust tips you get on a V6 Camaro. So pretty neat there. You get a little bit of sportiness in with your Traverse. Nice chrome along the back, and right underneath the Chevy emblem, dead center, is your backup camera. Terryville Chevrolet, of course, is kind enough to let me look at this car. And we have a trunk release right under here. And in case you were wondering, this little cover is for your trailer hitch. And we have our LT emblem indicating our trim level. And in case you're wondering, the LT is kind of right in the middle of the trim range. So we have the LS 1LT, which is what we have here, the 2LT, which has leather, the Premier, and then the High Country, which is the top of the line. Alright, so now let's go ahead and check out what's underneath the hood. So, underneath the hood of our Traverse that we are looking at today is a familiar displacement engine. It is the GM 3.6 liter V6. Now if you remember, the previous generation Traverse did have a 3.6, but this is a completely new one, making more horsepower, better torque. And our horsepower comes in at 310 at 6,800 RPM, and our torque comes in at 266 pound-feet at only 2,800 RPM. That's pretty good for a V6. Naturally aspirated V6, that is. And at the time of filming, the only engine choice is this. There are rumors, or I believe they are coming out with a 2-liter turbo version for the Traverse as well, but that'll come later in the year or early next year. Still does use 530 oil, which is a good thing. We've got our oil dipstick right over here. Our batteries located over there, and our air filters over here. All of our different fluids we could check and all that good stuff. Solid power plant. GM uses this power plant in a lot of cars. So before we get into the interior, I just wanted to show you these nice crossbars that the dealer has installed. Also really nice roof rails as well. So pretty neat up there. However, before we get into the interior, let's go ahead and check out the Smart Key entry system. So it works just like all the other GM systems. You have a button right here where you can lock and unlock the car. So the car is unlocked at the moment, but if you want to lock it, all you need to do is press the button right here. All 4 doors will lock, but if you want to get back in, press the button again and it unlocks the driver's door. Press it again, it'll unlock all 4 doors. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the interior. Now this Traverse does have a full cloth interior. It is called Jet Black, and you can also get a color known as the Dark Atmosphere, which is also pretty cool. But let's go ahead and start here on our door panel. Nice soft touch materials even up here. Not super soft, but it's definitely nice, soft to the touch. You have even softer materials over here and where your arm's going to rest. And some nice sort of saddle colored stitching as well. Gives it a really good looking accent. So a little bit of metallic gray accenting over here and some chrome where your door handle is. Your unlock and lock buttons are right there. Your window switch is over here. Your driver's side is fully automatic up and down. You have a window lockout button right here, and these are all your mirror controls. You have a nice little pocket right here to store whatever you want, and then a bigger pocket over here to store a water bottle and then some larger items. You have a speaker on both the driver and passenger doors, and a button right here, or a sort of twist knob for your fully automatic liftgate. So off to the left of the dash we have some nice padding over here, really soft. An air vent with some pretty neat accenting. Then we have some lighting controls down here, so our gauge dimmer is right here. We can twist that up and down and then just pop it right in there. We have our regular lighting controls, of course it's automatic, and then our fog lights are controlled right there. Taking a look below that, we have our hood release like we saw earlier. Nice big dead pedal to rest your foot, and then some of our regular brake and gas pedals covered in rubber nicely so you don't lose your grip. We have some button and floor mats. Again, this car is a little bit dirty, so you're going to have to excuse that. But take a look at these seats. A really nice pattern for the cloth there. Some even nicer stitching there. Pretty good bolstering, so it's definitely going to keep you in place. And the driver's seat is 10-way powered, and that includes your 2-way lumbar. Let's go ahead and hop in, start it up, and check out the rest of the interior. So here is the key fob Chevy is giving you guys for this Traverse. It's a really nice key fob. Of course, is the keyless entry, but you also do have a physical key in there in case you need to use it. But we have some pretty cool functions on here, surrounded in chrome. We have a lock, unlock, remote start, a trunk release, and a panic alarm. But all you need to do to start this Traverse, since it has the push button ignition, is just put your foot on the brake and press that button. Alright, so we can start off the driver's portion of the interior with this really nice soft leather wrapped steering wheel with some stitching, some grip bolsters. Pretty cool to see that. But it's a nice wheel, nice big airbag cover with the Chevy emblem. We have some functions on both the face and the rear of the steering wheel, so let's go ahead and check out those. Now all the buttons on the face are surrounded by this nice satin chrome, it looks like. We do have all of our cruise control settings over here, and sort of our media controls over here, so voice commands and Bluetooth telephone. These buttons are all for the driver's display up there, which we'll get into when we check that whole cluster out. But as far as the steering wheel buttons on the back go, they are right where my fingers are, so almost directly in back of these buttons right here. And the buttons to the left control your presets for your radio, and the buttons to the right control your audio volume. Nice to see that, so it's not an overwhelming amount of buttons on the face of the steering wheel. But taking a look behind the steering wheel are your turn signals. You also have your high beam controls right over there. And over here we have our front and rear wiper controls. Up here you have some pretty simple gauges, gets the job done very nicely. It's got a little bit of design element to it. We got the same satin chrome that surrounds the whole speedometer and goes around the buttons on the steering wheel. But we have our rev counter over here, fuel gauge, temperature, and speedometer all the way over there to the right. And let's go ahead and take a look at the functions of the little display there using these buttons again. So if you want to pull up all of our menus, we just press that left button right there. It'll bring up all your menus. And if you want to scroll between the menu that we're already in, just use the up and down buttons. So we have our digital speedometer over here. Our trip settings are also over here. We have our fuel range, oil life, tire pressures. Our fuel economy bar, just a sort of timer or battery voltage. Our transmission fluid. We also have some all-wheel drive settings, which is pretty neat. And then if we don't want anything there, we can just have a blank screen. Let's go ahead and check out our audio screen. It'll just kind of display what's going on with your radio there. Our phone screen, of course, that'll come to life more if you have a phone that's paired to the system. Navigation, so again, if you have something connected over there with your navigation, all your directions will show up over here. Then we have an options menu right over here as well. And we could choose between different settings here, US and metric, all that good stuff. But for now, let's go ahead and just leave it on our digital speedometer. So that's what I'd use it if I were driving this car. But nice upper dash. It is pretty soft to the touch, I have to say that. No quality issues or anything like that. So pretty nice center stack here. We have our 8-inch Mylink screen. Really, really easy to use system. Everything's just right here on the home menu. So you don't have to fool around with anything. But I'll just give you the overview of the system since it's already up here. So we do have our audio screen. All of our presets are down below. We have all sort of different buttons. Then we have shortcuts up here that'll always be there no matter what menu you're on. We do have a physical home button as well as skip or volume on and off, and a screen up and down button. We have our phone screen. Again, all of our contacts will sync over if we had our phone hooked up via the Bluetooth. Projection has to do with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We have navigation through OnStar. You can also get the built-in navigation. We have our settings over here. I'm going to go quickly through those. Also, it takes almost no effort to tap on the screen at all. We have text messaging, our OnStar, rear climate. Really cool about this car is it's not even the top level trim, and we do have a 3-zone climate control. So 2 zones for the front passenger and 1 zone for the rear passengers. Our next button, we also have shop, which we can get different apps and whatnot for the screen. This up arrow is also for your presets. And going back to home, we have all of our Wi-Fi settings right here, our temperature, our exterior temperature, and our digital clock over there. So nice, easy to get used to screen. Definitely appreciate the user ability to this screen, because some screens that I work with are quite hard to get used to. This one, I know exactly what I'm doing. So I commend GM for their Mylink system. So we have our start-stop logo like we saw earlier, some nice stitching. We also have our climate control settings down here, so we can set different temperatures for the front passengers here, and we can also sync them with that button right there. Front and rear defrost, 3-stage heated seats for the front passengers. I should say front driver and front passenger. So we have our different zones. Our fan speed will also show up over here. You can see those little lights lighting up. That'll tell you how much your fan speed is going on. We have our AC and sync passenger heated seat control as well. Below that we have a nice storage tray. It looks like it'll fit a pretty decent sized phone. And it is rubberized at the bottom, so your phone's not going to slide around while you're driving. You also have 2 USB connections, an auxiliary and a 12-volt connection. So taking a look down here, we have a pretty nice gear lever for our 9-speed automatic transmission. It's in park at the moment, but if we want to shift into reverse, there's a little lever back here that we want to press in first. It'll shift us right into reverse, and we have a pretty nice backup camera with guidance lines that move to project our path. We also have our normal neutral drive and a low mode. We can also shift gears manually through the plus and minus at the top of the shift knob there. Now there was one button that I didn't press over here, and that is the screen up button, so don't tell anybody because this is a secret, but there is a hidden compartment back here, and it contains a USB storage, and it is felt lined so you can put any valuables you want and it won't get damaged. So pretty cool to see that, and you can still use the screen while it's up, so pretty cool. So a couple of cup holders over here, nice to see that. Lots of chrome accenting in this car, really gives it a premium look. Electronic parking brake, just lift it up to activate it and press it down to deactivate. Just make sure your foot's on the brake before you do any of that. Now over here we have our all-wheel drive controls, and it's nice to see that we can switch between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And we also do have a traction control off button. So right now we are in two-wheel drive. We can switch it to four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Then if we switch it over again, we also have an off-road mode, so you can take this thing to the beach or to a state park or whatever, and you won't be getting stuck. So really nice center storage space over here. It's got a nice soft feeling to it, nice stitching, pretty cool design as well. But it's a big console, so you'll definitely have no problem sharing it with your passenger. Now opening it up, we have a nice removable storage tray and a ton of storage in there. It is even illuminated right over here, so at night you know where all your junk is. Now up here we do have a mirror with a manual day and night mode. Really cool. If you get the upper trims, you will have the backup camera mirror. And if you don't know what that is, definitely check out the video I have up on the 2017 Chevy Bolt. That car had it, and it's a really cool feature. It's almost like another backup camera, but you can leave it on all the time and it displays right where your mirror is. So taking a look up here, we have our 1, 2, 3 for our garage door home links. Some lighting up here that is LED, more lighting controls, emergency buttons, all that good stuff. So we have our visor here with mirror and light, and a little card holder for whatever you need. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust my seat to a normal driving position so we can get a good look at how much room we're going to have in the back seats there. And I'm going to grab the keys so we don't get locked out. And let's go ahead and check out the rear passenger space. Now take a look at how big the rear door is. Definitely going to aid the ingress and egress for this car. Now, same as the front, we do have some nice soft touch materials even up here, but it's going to be even softer where your elbow's going to rest. We do have a cup holder on the door, which is pretty neat. Some storage areas found throughout the door, a speaker on the bottom there, nice chrome door handle, and then our window switch is right there as well. We do have captain's chairs back here, which are like, I guess you could say bucket seats, but you could also order this car with a full bench seat, so you'll have a seat in the middle there instead of an aisle. But that aisle, you can also access the third row seats. So you can move this seat and fold it flat by just pulling that handle right there at the bottom. And that's where we can see our third row seat. Now I do have one of the seats folded down, but you can seat 3 people back here. So this is a 2 passengers in front, 2 passengers in the middle, and then 3 passengers in the rear seats. No quality lacking back here. Same nice pattern on the seats as the front seats as well. And you could also move these rear seats back and forth. There's a little bar right here, and you can move it back and forth, so you can either give the third row passengers more room or give yourself more room. So let's go ahead and hop in and see how much space we have back here. So giving the back passengers a little bit of room and giving myself a little room. I'm 5'10", normal driving position for me up front. I have a pretty good amount of space, but if I move this seat all the way back, my space triples. Now if I move it all the way forward, I can still seat very comfortably. However, my knees are hitting the seats. So you want to just keep it right in the middle so you give the rear passengers some good space and yourself. However, back here we do have our third zone climate controls back here. We have a fan speed. And this all lights up when the car is on, but I don't want to waste the gas. It is also automatic, and our temperatures right there as well. We do have 2 more USB chargers and a storage space back there. Pretty big storage space. Take a look at that. Completely flat space, or floor back here, so there's no drivetrain hump. And take a look at the carpeted floor mat. It goes all the way across, just one huge mat. We also do have a storage pocket back here. And let's go ahead and move this seat up just a little bit. Let's check out how the rear seats are. So getting in the third row is pretty easy using the aisle. Have a couple of inches of space right there. We also have USB chargers on either side, and some storage and a cup holder. So on either side we have USB chargers. Really nice to see that. Also have some LED illumination, air vents. Some pretty cool creature comforts back here. Really nice interior for this car. And the second row seats also do have armrests that fold down. But for now, let's go ahead and check out the front passenger space. So same nice details on this door as the driver's door. You can see what we have for buttons and switches there. There's a little bit of storage, a speaker, all that good stuff. And we do have a 4-way manual front seat. So we have our backrest is adjusted with this lever right there, and then our back and forth with this one right there. Nice leatherette portion here on the passenger space. Let's go ahead and hop in. Really good amount of space in the glove box here, so it's very wide and it's also pretty deep as well. Definitely enough space to put all your owner's manuals and all that good stuff. But next, let's go ahead and check out what's underneath the liftgate. So for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and use the key fob button, double tap it, and our power liftgate will pop right open for us. No effort whatsoever required. And once we get back here, it's actually a really decent amount of space behind the third row. Now keep in mind, you can fold this third row up by just pulling this strap right here and pushing the seat down. Now at the time of filming, not a whole lot of specs were available, so we're not quite sure on how much cubic feet of storage we have. However, those two seats, like you saw earlier, will fold down flat as well. So you're definitely not going to have a problem with going to the grocery store or maybe even Home Depot. So there's a 12-volt power outlet back here, some nice cargo tie downs. Looks like we even have a couple of speakers back here on either side. And underneath here we have another huge storage tray. Goes in quite a ways too, and this lid will also stay up for you so you don't have to hold it up. There's also a nice LED light on the top of the trunk lid there that'll illuminate the ground down below where the trunk is opened. But to close it, you can press this button right here, or you can even press the button on the key fob again. So, tank size was not yet available at the time of filming again, but this does have the the capless design for the fuel filler. You do get to use 87 octane too, which is good, and our fuel economy comes in at 17 city and 25 on the highway, not too bad. So to end this video, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you stay with us for future in-depth looks.